Your information station, WTIM.
Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining me in this segment is Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler with the Taylorville Police Department. Dwayne, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear it. And hope you enjoyed your Father's Day weekend, and hope folks out there did as well. Got to enjoy some nice weather on Sunday at least. And so happy Father's Day to those out there that we missed. So let's get into things here today. And the first of which you want to talk to us about a little bit is Safe Passage Taylorville. We had Denise in a few weeks ago. Let us know that there were some updates, and you've got some further updates with Safe Passage Taylorville. What do you what can you share on that end?
Yeah, we're doing really well with Safe Passage. It's just growing and growing. Lately we've seen a lot of people coming in. We know it's summertime. There's still people struggling, but they're walking through the doors. We are finding treatment centers for them, and also looking at another big grant coming through. Once we get that, we'll have even more. But we're looking at different treatment centers that we could probably go to to help with the program. But yeah, work is never an issue with Denise and Debbie. I do want to give my condolences out to Denise. Her partner passed away, Dale, who was really huge in our Safe Passage family. He was one of our drivers, and he's driven several people to treatment. Besides Dale driving them to treatment, he was always a phone call away for the ones in recovery. So the recovery community took a hit last week when he passed away suddenly. And, I pray for him and his family and the recovering people too that knew Dale when they talk to him and call him. And he's always had great words of encouragement towards people in recovery. He had a lot going on. He just became a trustee in Kincaid and also a commander for the VFW there. And so it's just unfortunate that, he passed away and when there was so much going on in his life, but that's something we can't control. Only God can. But from the time I met him, to now, I'm going to miss him a lot. He did a lot for myself personally too, just always being there for me. And we just, it was a gut punch. But we'll move on and we'll do whatever we can.
And that
for
type
Denise.
Sorry, Chief, but that type of loss for you guys too, when you need as many volunteers and as much help as possible, somebody that's been committed for some time is tough to replace. And hopefully for Denise and others out there that they can come back and feel a little bit better after some time away, hopefully as well. Treatment facility wise, what treatment facilities are we using when it comes to
we have dozens that we use, but the key is once again, it's mental health. We're trying to get these treatment centers that do dual diagnosis, because we all know that the people that are struggling with any type of substance abuse, there's always an underlying condition that caused it. And if we could help with that underlying condition, which could be a sexual assault when they grew up, or maybe their parents were active users, or they were always abused. There's all types of reasons why they're using today. And when they go to these dual treatment centers, they're able to get that fixed first. Okay. And then our success rate we've seen, once they get that underlying problem fixed, our success rate goes up where they don't have to go back to treatment again. And if they do, they do. But with this grant here, it's going to give us some more opportunities to get people in the right place. But we are blessed that we have several dozen treatment centers in the state that will help us. It's just a phone call away.
In terms of the dual diagnosis facilities, that's where we're hoping to get folks over to.
We're hoping to get more into, because the majority of people that come into the program do not have any type of private insurance, that's for sure. But then they don't even have state insurance, and then we actually help out them get insurance and do a lot of things for them. People don't understand the Safe Passage program. It's not just where you just come in and you go to treatment. We'll take you in if we have to help you, get into the state programs. For example, if they need money for food, they need insurance, we'll guide them to the right direction, or we'll even help them call and get what they need to survive. So I wish people could see the day in the life of Safe Passage. I wish they really can. It's that this is why that we're the poster child of Central Illinois with this program. We, as far as Peoria, all the way down to Danville, Taterville Police Department Safe Passage program is by far ahead of anyone, and we're always being talked about. I'm getting calls from chiefs, mayors, city managers about the program because they could just see how crime is reduced because of the program. So it's I'll tell you that our name is really blown up, and it's great that other facilities want to get involved.
I was going to say, Denise echoed a lot of those same things, saying that there are folks that are constantly reaching out, asking about how to improve their Safe Passage if they have a program, or how to start a Safe Passage program if they need to do so. And so it is really cool that here in Taylorville, that's something that we're actively, very active with in that regard. And the community is coming behind it a little bit more as well. There's Denise let us know that there's another individual or another organization that's getting involved with Safe Passage. Can you tell us a little bit about the additional church and additional space, or what that might mean to Safe Passage with a new member kind of helping out?
Yes, with so many people in recovery, we have a church, First Presbyterian Church helps us with these NA and AA programs, and now we got the Baptist Church that opened their doors up for the same thing. So now we've grown so much that we've grown like too big for one church, and we need another church, and we spoke to the pastors there, and they were just, they opened their arms up to us. They love the program, and how we have them 1 day a week there so far, and then I'm sure it's going to be 2 or 3 and 4 days. We're going to try to have it 7 days, and for a place to go to and a little different scenery.
Well, and just the additional space, having another place, it also kind of lends to some potential changes down the road too, more so than if you're in that kind of confined space, or just kind of running out of slots. And I know that you want to help as many folks as possible. So I thought that was a really big deal, and I think everything Safe Passage wise has been impressive in terms of kind of seeing it grow even over the year that I have been here, and change. Anything else when it comes to Safe Passage Taylorville and some of the changes that have been made?
No, I'm telling you, we're just growing, and also the recovery community is growing too. These meetings is the key to sobriety, and when you walk into a meeting and you see 8, 10, 12 people there, it's just like going into the city of Chicago and going to one of their AA meetings and see 8, 10, 12 people there, because that's usually the average. And it's fantastic that the people that are in recovery they're going there daily, talking about issues and staying sober. So it's working.
And hopefully moving forward too, get some more grants back in the in-house.
Yes.
Get some more things. From what I was told, we need some grants that are coming through, and looks like there are some on the horizon too.
There is, and we're going through. The grants are out there. It's just the issue is getting them, and I think we all know why. There's kind of a feud between the government and the state of Illinois, so that hopefully will loosen up and release some of this money to us.
So we're looking to tackle not only the underlying problem, but the drug problem. So underlying problem first, hopefully drug problem second, because they do go hand in hand.
Yes.
And I know today we want to talk about mental health and just the crisis that not only Christian County is having to work through, but just as a nation itself. How do we kind of improve things? I know that you've got a couple ventures and a couple things that you're thinking, but what would you like to highlight or share when it comes to mental health in Christian County?
Well, our mental health calls are just increasing again. You know, we were up 75% last year. This year, I mean, I haven't done the numbers yet. That was one of my things to do today, is to see where we're at. But it's just, it's sad. It's just sad because we could take them to the hospital, but the hospital can only do so much for them. And I'm not blaming the hospital for, you just keep them, medicate them, but where do they take them to? That's the issue. They can't hold them. And then if they take them to a larger hospital, they can't hold them. Something's got to break. We need mental health facilities. We need more resources here in Christian County, because someone's going to get hurt. We had a gentleman come into the front of our police department with a knife to his neck and wants to do a suicide by cop. Now, this guy, it was because he was being followed and things were coming out of his skin. Okay. Drone was above his head, black Suburbans. He was in complete psychosis and manic. All right. And he wanted his life taken by us. So, luckily it worked out where we talked him down to, don't charge us with a knife. But then he decided to go ahead and just cut his throat. Luckily that didn't happen. But here we go again. We got the knife from him, and we talked to him and sat him down and said, "You're going to be okay." And the ambulance came and they did their part, but how much can they do? They could transport him to the hospital, and then it stops. Then, okay, this is around 6 o'clock at night, and I was there personally and seen the whole thing, and we're dealing with the guy again at 2 o'clock in the morning. No help. So, it's just, this concerns me. It concerns my officers. God forbid a guy wants to take his life and wants to do a suicide by cop. Just think how, this person didn't have to die, number one. Number two, the officers didn't have to get involved in the shooting and live with it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
It's just, we have to do something. And I beg the state to get on this and help us out, or the resources here in county doing something, because it's not getting any better.
2 incidents like that in a span of 24 hours is
It's the same person. That's the key. This guy, he has a knife. We're outside and he says, "I want suicide by cop." He tells us that, and of course, we're like, "You don't want that."
No.
All right. But then if he comes charging us with a knife, what's going to happen? Okay. We'll do the best we can to use everything we have in our powers besides lethal force. But then he stops and decides to put it into his neck. Now what?
Right.
And now we talked him down. He put the knife down and then we took him to the hospital, and then 2 o'clock in the morning, I think it was 1:45, we get another call of a subject in crisis. And here we go with the same person.
Yeah. And when it comes to safe passage, that person has to be willing to take that help. And then when they're not, then where do you put them? Like you're saying.
Yeah, safe passage is, I mean, we can't say come into the station and take him.
No.
I mean, he's not going to go.
No.
This guy has to be committed. He's not going to go. He's in psychosis, so he's manic.
It's I'm not sure how to fix it, but I know that resources need to be dumped into this, and you would think by this time now that type of conversation would be being had, but it seems to be stalled. Well, we're joined right now by Chief Dwayne Wheeler of the Taylorville Police Department. We'll take a 3-minute break and we'll come on back and we'll talk a little bit more with him about the state of the Taylorville Police Department and things going on with it. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining me now in studio is Chief Dwayne Wheeler of the Taylorville Police Department. We talked a little bit about Safe Passage Taylorville and the mental health crisis that is affecting Christian County as well. We want to talk for a brief moment about FOIA requests. Dwayne, what do you want to tell us there on that front with about 2 minutes to go?
Well, real quick, I love FOIA requests. I think the Freedom of Information Act should be available to the public, but it's being abused. People are taking our daily arrests and then requesting everything for that arrest. There's several exemptions what you're not going to get. You're not going to get an active investigation. You're not going to get body-worn camera video of that active investigation. You're not going to get all the police reports for this active investigation. So, but if there is not an active investigation, we have to give you all this information. But there's a reason why they made FOIA requests. It's because it's great for attorneys to get, even though they get discovery. But also, if you want to get it yourself, or if you want to get it from a friend or just to look at, that's fine. But understand, these videos that we have, that daily we're getting these, and we have to burn these videos and redact juveniles. We have to redact license plates. We have to do this. We have to do that. It's time consuming and it costs money. Mm-hmm. The state of Ohio did something that Illinois should pass. They're charging everyone $75 per hour for these, and they'll even go up to $750 for video, and that's slowed down big time. So if you want to pay $700 for just to look at video, that's fine. Until we get there, I'm just asking the public, if we don't need them, I can't debate with these First Amendment auditors because they're going to do it anyways, or these people that are anti-police, but it's got to come to an end. It's not going to, but hopefully if the state starts charging more money, it might, but it just takes a lot of our time.
Setting up a new structure. Well, joining us in studio, Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler of the Taylorville Police Department. Dwayne, thank you for coming on as you always do each and every month. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.